Tonight, we're diving into a crisis shaking the very roots of American farming: corn. Once a proud symbol of prosperity, U.S. corn now sits stranded at ports, unable to reach the world. The reason? New Trump-endorsed rules demanding an America First purity certificate, one the world refuses to recognize. This political decision has frozen exports, leaving millions of tons of corn stuck in limbo. Buyers from Mexico to Japan are blindsided, scrambling to replace a once reliable American supplier. The global food chain is in turmoil, and America's reputation as a dependable partner is unraveling. In Asia, U.S. ships are turned away, their paperwork dismissed under the new mandate. The certification, seen as a political tool, holds no global weight and violates existing trade deals. Meanwhile, Washington's silence leaves farmers stranded and desperate for answers. Corn piles up in silos and ships, its value slipping away with every passing day. For these farmers, this isn't about politics. It's about their future and their family's survival. The golden harvest has become a gilded cage, trapping hard-working families as their crops go unused. This isn't a natural disaster or a market dip. It's a crisis made by human hands. The world is watching as America's agricultural powerhouse stumbles. Decades of trust are unraveling with every shipment that's blocked. The shockwaves are just starting, but the wounds run deep. For America's farmers, the stakes have never been higher. The pride of the heartland has become its prison. Corn isn't just a crop, it's the backbone of rural America. Small towns, local businesses, and millions of jobs depend on the success of corn exports. The U.S. once led the world in corn exports, sending billions of dollars into the heartland. American farmers grow more corn than we can use. Exports are essential to keep prices stable. When exports stop, a glut forms, prices collapse, and families suffer. Every kernel's journey, from Illinois fields to global ports, creates jobs and economic activity. When exports are blocked, the entire system unravels, hurting everyone from truck drivers to traders. For farmers, exporting corn is a source of pride and identity. Feeding the world is part of America's legacy. Losing that role, not to competition but to politics, feels like a betrayal. The economic pain is real, but the psychological blow is even deeper. The world's rejection isn't just about money, it's about purpose. For many, the loss of global markets is a loss of meaning. The crisis is personal, and the consequences are profound. How did we get here? The answer: a Trump-backed purity law pushed by allies in Congress. This law imposes a unilateral certification on all U.S. agricultural exports, claiming to ensure purity but offering no clear standards. Trading partners see it as a hostile, protectionist move, a violation of long-standing agreements. Countries like Mexico, Japan, and South Korea are rejecting not just the corn, but the political ultimatum behind it. America is changing the rules mid-game and the world refuses to play along. Supporters argue this chaos will force better deals, but so far it's only driven buyers away. Instead of negotiation, there's rejection. Nations are finding new suppliers. Agriculture depends on trust and predictability. This policy has shattered both. The result: a self-inflicted wound, with American farmers paying the price. The Trump doctrine of disruption has backfired in the fields. Our former customers are moving on, and the damage is immediate. The global market is unforgiving and trust is hard to rebuild. America's agricultural dominance is slipping by its own hand. As America stalls, Canada steps up. Once a minor player, Canadian corn is now in high demand. With the U.S. sidelined, Canada offers stability and reliability, qualities buyers crave. In weeks, Canada has signed billion-dollar, multi-year contracts with countries across Asia and Latin America. Japanese and Mexican companies once loyal to the U.S. are now turning north. Canada's investments in infrastructure and quality have paid off. Their corn is non-GMO, their ports efficient, and their trade free from political baggage. Canadian farmers are expanding acreage, confident in new demand. The government is fast-tracking upgrades to handle the surge. This isn't a temporary windfall, it's a permanent shift. Canada is building a future as a global corn powerhouse. The crown of North American corn is changing hands. The difference between American and Canadian farmers is stark. In Iowa, David Miller's silos are full, but buyers have vanished. He faces mounting bills, falling prices, and a future clouded by politics he can't control. Across the border in Ontario, Chloe Dubois is thriving. Her phone rings with premium offers and she's signing multi-year contracts. She's investing in new equipment and land, planning for growth. The key difference: access to global markets. David is cut off, forced to consider selling at a loss or letting his crop rot. Chloe has more buyers than she can supply, securing her family's future. For David, the American dream is slipping away. For Chloe, opportunity is knocking louder than ever. The border is now a dividing line between despair and prosperity. Politics has made all the difference. The global market rewards those who can deliver without drama. The crisis is personal, visible in every corner of the supply chain. In Nebraska, a farmer named Bill tells his congressman, "I voted for Trump, but this isn't putting us first. My grandfather survived the Dust Bowl. I don't know if I can survive this." His neighbors nod, united by fear and frustration. In Winnipeg, Canadian traders celebrate as deals pour in from around the world. "They just want to know how much we can ship and how fast," one trader says. "We're the only reliable game in town now." In Seoul, South Korean executives tell Canadian reps, "We valued America, but we need a partner we can count on. That's Canada now." A new contract is signed, ending decades of US dominance. Back in New Orleans, longshoreman Mike stares at idle ships. "Usually this place is humming. Now, nothing. My son was supposed to start here next month. I told him to look elsewhere." The pain isn't just on the farm, it's in every link of the chain. From the fields to the docks, livelihoods are at risk. The crisis is breaking communities, not just businesses. The world is moving on and America is left behind. The sense of betrayal is deep. The consequences are everywhere. This isn't just about corn, it's about trust, jobs, and the future. The chain is broken and the repair won't be easy. Can America recover? The path is steep. Repealing the purity law is the first step, but political gridlock stands in the way. The Trump-aligned faction sees this policy as core to their identity and will fight any reversal. Even if the law is repealed, trust is not easily restored. Buyers have signed new contracts, reconfigured supply chains, and invested elsewhere. America would return not as a leader, but as a competitor, fighting for lost ground. Rebuilding trust would require a major diplomatic push and concrete assurances. Price cuts, better terms, and stability clauses might be needed to lure buyers back. It would be costly and humbling. America's word is no longer enough. The future depends on farmers and voters demanding change. If the pain grows, political pressure could force action, but every day lost strengthens Canada's position. The window to reclaim the crown is closing fast. This is more than a trade dispute, it's a global realignment. America's decision to block corn exports driven by politics has backfired. Instead of leverage, it handed opportunity to Canada. American farmers face ruin, Canadians enjoy a boom. The world has learned not to rely on a single supplier. Markets are diversifying and America's dominance is gone. The US may sell corn again, but the era of unquestioned leadership is over. Canada is now the trusted partner. This crisis is a lesson in the value of trust and consistency. Political decisions have real, lasting consequences. The fields will still grow, but their future is uncertain. America's corn machine was stalled by its own hand. As the world moves on, the heartland wonders if it will be left behind.